Welcome to Under the Hood with Dr. Alex and Dr. Rebecca,
where we share pearls of wisdom from our 30 years of combined clinical experience.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi. So I feel like we've already covered a lot this morning, as we always do.
We just should hit record the minute we arrive.
I know, that's right. But then people would get all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But we've sort of already started talking about this, so we were just going to hit record. So this morning, we are talking about oldest siblings, which we both are.
Yeah.
Oldest daughters.
Yeah. Should I tell you what I've learned?
Yeah.
Okay,
tell me what you've learned.
So I knew my own personal experience, but I wanted to understand in the context of maybe more so therapy, which obviously I'm not a mental health therapist. And so I discussed it with my therapist and she helped me research.
You spent your therapy research.
Which is much more comfortable, than
as a therapist, I'm like, Alex, what were you avoiding talking about?
Avoiding other things. And so the reason why we wanted to talk about this is because we really understand each other. And also we have a lot of similarities. And we're both business owners and we're both great leaders in our field. You have written a book. I'm in the process of writing a book. We have this podcast. And so one of the classic oldest identifiers is that leadership ability, being a trailblazer, but also being a little bit of a perfectionist, anxious, rule follower. And part of it is that you are sort of expected to keep an eye on the younger siblings. And sometimes it's more than keep an eye. Sometimes it's actually true caregiving. I think my mom was pretty intentional about that. In my house, we always had a babysitter, even when I was old enough to watch my siblings. And I'm thinking that she did that on purpose for me. I was the camp counselor at their summer camp, which was for children with diabetes. So definitely I still had some of that. But I do feel that she was aware of those things because she had her master's degree in early childhood growth and development. So she knew to kind of protect me in some ways from that. But certainly the anxious, bossy
leadership. I like to call that leadership potential.
Yes.
So much leadership potential.
Yes. And so also just really high expectations. So we talked a lot about parents kind of either get a little less anxious themselves or more tired, depending on how you want to look at it. Or
both, maybe.
Yeah, both. Or they just kind of figure everything is going to be fine. And so for me, I couldn't go past the big tree, which was 2 houses up. My younger siblings were gallivanting throughout the whole neighborhood, God only knows.
Yeah.
I remember this cute guy next door invited me out into the street to play kickball. And I was old enough, definitely. No. The answer was no. I sat at the window watching, not allowed to play in the street.
Oh, did he find another cute girl to play with?
I'm sure eventually he did.
Face
totally.
against the window.
Definitely. I mean, that's a core memory.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your experience as the oldest?
I think similar. I would say so Brené Brown, who I love, talks about this. She's the oldest as well. So she gets it. She gets it. And one of the things, I was listening to her book, I think it's called The Power of Vulnerability. And it's a series of her teachings. She's so brilliant.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And she's funny. So one of the things that she says, which really struck home for me, is that as the oldest, you are given an outsized view of your own importance.
Interesting.
The example that she gives, which is so funny. Yeah. She's like, Brené, make sure you close that drawer or your siblings might die. It's so funny. Right? But seriously, though, it's like you make sure that this is done.
Definitely.
And
very vigilant, hypervigilant.
Very vigilant and hypervigilant. And so as that goes, that oversized sense of responsibility, not only responsibility for yourself, but responsibility for everybody.
Definitely.
It puts, my experience has been, and I think that the oldest child research is that it puts oldest children and particularly oldest daughters into a situation where they're overfunctioners.
Oh yeah, clearly.
And in a system, me too. Yeah, in a system, whether it's a family or it's a organization or it's a job or whatever, people tend to respond to stress and anxiety in a system with 2 ways. one is to overfunction and one is to underfunction. And neither are particularly helpful nor relational. So like to overfunction, then you have someone else who's underfunctioning. And this I find in my family. I've actually talked to one of my younger sisters about this. And, we have a group family house that we go to for vacations and stuff. And we're there and I'm like doing everybody's laundry and I'm grocery shopping and I'm meal planning. I'm doing all the things all the time. And I'm not sitting down and I'm not enjoying myself. And people are starting to avoid me, honestly, because they're like, okay, first of all, she's got it covered. I go into the kitchen and I say, hey, do you need some help? No, I've got it. Everything's fine. Yeah. Everything's great. So there's that. And then also like overfunctioning does not make me happy. I'm like more grumpy when I'm overfunctioning,
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
of course people want to avoid me. But so interestingly, this was a couple of years ago, my younger sister said, well, I feel like I don't know what to do. And so then I'm, sitting at the beach and feeling like I should be doing something, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fit in. And that underfunctioning is really uncomfortable as well.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Because I'm viewing the youngers as just so carefree because they're not looking out for anyone else. They're just looking out for themselves and kind of out in the world, not worrying about anybody else. And that's sort of the trope, I guess, is
Totally.
that sort of carefreeness.
Yeah. And I think that they can be. That's true. They may struggle with something different, but I have found myself as the oldest. I've never struggled to feel important or useful.
Oh, definitely not. No, because I know I am so important. So
and really useful. Indispensable.
Okay, yeah,
even.
indispensable, yes. Okay, this is all making sense. I feel like I'm not even my own person. I'm just this product of my environment. Yeah, not so unique. It's really interesting to see it on paper because then you're like, wow, okay, so do I have tremendous willpower or am I just the eldest daughter?
Eldest daughter. Yeah. It is funny that it does tend to be the eldest daughter. Not to say that, the eldest son has different,
societal expectations are different,
exactly.
definitely.
Especially if there's younger
yes.
siblings. The caretaking. I think in my family, my mom said to me once, both of my parents are oldest children too. So I think that may have like framed their expectations of me as well. But she was like, when you have, there's both of us in our families, there's 4 siblings. We're the oldest of 4. And so my mom recently said, we just sort of figured like the older ones raise the younger ones,
I think my mom tried not to.
Yeah,
be
fair.
The case. Yeah.
Fair. And I think that my mom during this conversation was kind of like questioning that a little bit, but it just was kind of the way I think that their expectation was. I think that they probably were somewhat overwhelmed. I cannot imagine. I have 2 kids and I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is, they did need my help.
And people always say, oh, Alex, are you having more kids? I'm like, 2 is so much work. 2 is so much work. I can't even imagine it. And then meanwhile, I came from 4. And I also think part of it was the idea of having this crew. And we were all 18 months apart. So we were a crew. And so it's kind of just built-in friends.
Wow.
Essentially, because we always just got to be a gaggle and plenty of people to play with and boss around.
Boss around.
Yeah.
That's right. That's amazing that you were all 18 months apart. I can't even imagine. My 2 are 18 months apart, and it's crazy. It was. I mean, now they're great friends, and they are like a crew.
Yeah, and we still
I could
are.
imagine if you kept going I could imagine that continuing, but man, oh man, those early years were really.
I'd be so curious to hear my own siblings' perspectives as in different. I do think because my next sibling is a social worker, she's very intentional about advocating and doing a lot of the kind of maybe classically older sibling activities and sort of taking stuff off my plate, but not necessarily viewing it as my plate, just trying to work as a team. And
That's
so
nice. Was that how it was when you guys were growing up
we
too?
do delegate really well. Oh gosh, my sister is like Mother Teresa. I think she's just always been this way. Although maybe that is a little bit of the second child. I don't know. We'll have to research all of them.
All of them. Yeah.
But she's just incredibly helpful in every way, always.
Did it feel like when you were growing up, you were like a team? Like you
I
were,
do think
she
we
was
fought.
helpful with the
Yeah,
little
I think
ones.
we fought definitely. Not she and I, but the 4 of us would fight like normal kids do. But probably because of autoimmune disease, my siblings had type 1 diabetes, which is very serious and involves a lot of, at the time, finger pricks, injections, medical appointments. And so maybe we did have that cohesiveness more so than a family that didn't have that. Because we all would go to the diabetes camp together, even though not all of us had the disease. And now all 4 of us do. So we were really well adept to handle it once we got it because we'd already been going and learning and, doing all of the education just as a sibling.
Yeah. I can see why your mom would have wanted a babysitter.
Yeah, definitely.
With all 4 of them being 18 months apart and the diabetes on board.
Totally.
It's like really not.
Yeah, Alex, this is not Alex's
This is not Alex's responsibility.
Totally.
Yeah. In my family, so my brother and I are 2 years apart.
Okay.
And then there's 5 years between my brother and our next sister.
Okay.
So I'm 7 years younger than her and then 10 years younger than the youngest.
Okay. So yeah, that's a big difference.
It was always the big kids and the little kids.
Big kids and the little kids, yeah.
And my brother, I mean, I love my brother, but he was not that helpful.
Yeah, not that helpful.
No. And I don't think that's, I mean, I think maybe it's just his personality. He's a little bit more of an introvert or the expectation. Yeah. But I think that by the time the little kids came along, it would be like my mom would sort of hand me a list of things that needed to get done, and then I would be bossing everybody around.
Yeah.
And
I am an amazing delegator. I think of myself as a delegator, but then Paul sometimes uses other language to describe it.
Yeah, I know.
When I throw parties at my house, I know everything that needs to be done, and I have no problem assigning those tasks to others. And then I'm confused when it's not super well received all the time.
That is so relatable. It's so relatable. Oh my God. And I have to tell you, as I've grown in awareness of my own self.
Yeah, I think I have some awareness to keep growing.
I have realized that when there is a job to do, my first thought is, who can I give this to?
I know. I'm just chronically delegating.
Me too.
But isn't that?
And Lee is like, well, you just do it yourself.
Yeah, totally. I think that's how Paul feels too. We'll have to ask. And so
our Southern husbands. This is a different episode.
This is a different episode. We both have Southern husbands with their northern.
They're so rude. We're so rude.
Paul does repeatedly think I'm rude, and I think I'm direct.
Me too. We are direct.
Yeah, we are direct. And when you come from New England, especially Massachusetts, I do think there is a directness here.
Yes.
And so, but in the South, my goodness.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah, bless their hearts. They are just so
very polite.
Yeah, very polite.
So polite.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into, maybe we just need to smush these two together, get to know Alex and Rebecca. So my mother-in-law, who is just the most lovely person. She really is.
She sounds so great.
Yeah, she really is great. So she just moved next door to us from North Carolina, which is so brave.
It's very
she's
brave.
In her 80s. It's like
it's extremely brave.
So brave. And we really encouraged her to make this move. But, walking around her neighborhood with her in North Carolina, she would say, her neighbors are in the yard and she's like, yoo-hoo, hi. And, they might not see her the first time, but that is not going to stop her from saying it again,
Oh.
Hi. Hi.
Totally.
And it's so, and then they see her, oh, hi, how you doing? And it's like this nice little thing.
So Southern.
So Southern. And so I would say, I'm a pretty friendly, open person.
Yep, you are.
Like my neighbors now, I think probably I am a big baker, so I'm constantly giving baked goods and stuff. They probably want to close their doors when they see me coming. They're like, enough bread already. No, but really though,
I love the bread you gave us.
So I love to do stuff like that. I am community minded. But if I walk by my neighbor, even my next door neighbor who I see all the time, and they look absorbed in a task in their yard, anything. I am not going to say, if we catch eyes,
sure,
I will say something. But the way I see that is, I don't think it's rude as much as a little bit of privacy. Yeah, it feels intrusive to be but that's not how.
Yeah,
Southerners.
Regularly people do not say hi back when I say hi.
Yes.
Because I lived in New Orleans for 5 years and then moved back. And so that's still in me a little bit. And so especially for the first 2 years that we lived back here, I would say hi. I mean, we're walking within 2 feet of each other.
It feels rude to not say hi from that Southern perspective.
I know. And people literally hear me and do not reply.
Yeah. Or they might smile. I do that sometimes.
Like a little half.
Yeah, me too. It's like if someone says hi to me and I'm like, I don't really want to say hi, or they seem a little weird or something.
Totally. Do I seem weird?
No, you don't wonder. Oh, well, I don't know. I'd say hi to you.
Yeah, I oftentimes wonder, like, I must be threatening in some way because you did not say hi back.
Yeah, in your friendliness. It's
Yeah,
too
it
friendly.
is. What do you want from me?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have
Total
time.
distrust. What
I
do
don't
you
have
want from
time.
me?
Yeah, exactly. But then once you get so it's easy to see how they think it's rude. And then I
Mhm.
think even just like a little bit in the inner circle too, where, I am delegating, I sometimes Lee will call me out and say like, please, or,
Definitely. Oh,
remind me of my manners.
is that true, Rebecca? Because Paul
All the time.
calls me out. Now I'm trained,
Mhm.
like Pavlov's dogs. Now I say please every time. But it took probably 7 years
Mhm.
of him every single time being like, please.
Yeah. It's absolutely true that, and I'm not there yet. But here's one.
I always say thank you.
I always say thank you to, well, I don't
Always,
know.
always say thank
Not
you.
according to Lee.
Oh, okay. I always say thank you, but I just please somehow feels so formal to me.
So it feels formal to me too, and it also feels directive.
Mm.
Like if I say, "Could you please do that?" then it
Yeah, it's like
feels
you're in
like,
trouble.
yeah, or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Could you
Would you mind? I
please?
think I say, "Would you
Mhm.
mind?"
Mhm.
more than I
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
"Could
yeah.
you please?" Which feels polite to me, but according to my Southern husband, it is not.
No, definitely same with me. Wow, we're
Yeah,
living very similar
parallel.
experiences. Doesn't it just make you question everything? When I was
Yeah.
doing the research for this episode, Eldest, I was like, "Okay, wow,
Mhm.
I'm reading my own diary."
Well, I think culture is really, we are steeped in culture.
Yeah.
And the culture of the family is specific to the family, but then it's also the birth order, it does.
Mhm.
It does matter.
It does matter, and there's a lot of impact, which now it makes me think about my expectations of my own eldest daughter,
Yeah.
because we are pretty strict.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about sitting at the kitchen table doing my homework and just how regimented and strict and I wonder how that changed over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of repeating it with Tess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. I wonder about that too. My kids are so close in age. I think that often, my eldest, I don't know if it's because of his personality or because he's the eldest, but he has a lot of leadership potential.
Mhm.
And I will often say, Lee, this is funny. So Lee's cousin has 2 sons
Mhm.
and, somehow told him that when the eldest is, like, kinda getting a little big for his
Yeah,
britches
yeah,
and
yeah.
bossing his
Mhm.
brother
Yep.
around, he'll say, "All right, daddy junior." And then it's sort of like a little bit of like a, "Oh, okay, I was doing that," behavior.
Mhm.
And so Lee tried this with Gray, our eldest, and he was like, "Okay, daddy junior." And Gray was like, "Ah, yes." And so then he started calling himself daddy junior. It was like an empowerment. So we've had to reel that language
Oh
back.
my
He was like,
gosh.
"Finally, somebody's
Somebody's
recognizing."
recognizing that
Yeah.
I am that is so great.
But
I
they're
think
only 18 months apart, so it feels like, I'm often saying, like, you're too young to have children.
yeah,
Like,
totally, yeah.
you do not need to parent.
I do
This is
say that
my
a
job,
lot
you
to
know?
Teresa. This is not your responsibility. Mom
Yes.
and dad are in charge of Mark,
Yeah.
that is something that we repeat quite
But it's
frequently.
so hardwired.
And also, it's a necessity
Yeah.
sometimes. Like if they're playing outside and I'm trying to make dinner, I want them to have independence to play outside, but he is a lot younger and
Mhm.
someone does kind of need to keep an eye. So I think then I have a lot of compassion for the situation where a parent does sort of need the older ones to watch out for the younger
Oh,
ones. Yeah.
definitely. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I do think that the oldest children tend to be more neurotic.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Me too.
right there.
Yeah, me too. I think it's decreased over time, but I'm still peeling back
Unlearning.
the
Yeah.
layers of the
I think
yeah.
my siblings really helped me with that actually because they are really good about pitching in.
Mhm.
And so then they host, they'll host, they'll help plan, they'll come up with ideas for gifts, especially since I've had kids and I have a business.
Mhm.
I think because they're in tune,
Yeah.
they recognize that I can't do those things and
Yeah.
they also want to do them.
Right.
They want to be part of that.
My sister hosted Thanksgiving this past year, my youngest sister, and, I don't think I've ever it's like I was so relaxed.
Yeah.
When my parents host, I find myself getting a little bit more into the oldest.
Yeah, just kind of
It's like,
helping and
we're all
doing.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, but for some reason, I think, I was like,
totally, this is
I
great.
would go into the kitchen and be like, is there anything I can do? Whatever. No, it's all under control. It's fine. And so I like went and sat down and like talked to people. It was so nice. I was like, oh my God, is this
It's
is
nice
how
that it felt
all
nice
these-
for you instead of like, am I useless? Yeah.
No, it really did.
Do you
It
need
felt
me
really
anymore?
nice. Yeah. Yeah, it felt really nice.
We just did the Project 3, is it 333 that
Yeah.
Allie
Oh,
in
I
our
love that.
previous
Yeah.
episode recommended. And so what the project is, for those who didn't listen to that episode, is that you reduce your closet to 33 items per season.
Mhm.
And so, of course,
I didn't get to 33.
yeah, that's okay.
I think I'm at like 40.
Yeah, I think that's really great.
Yeah.
And it's just meant to simplify your morning so that you can just pick a top and a bottom and they are likely to go together, and then you just get out the door. And it's really worked wonders for me. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's such a pleasure for me to then give all my nice stuff to my siblings.
Oh, yeah.
So my siblings came over and then I disseminated all my clothes. It makes it so much easier for me
To give it away.
Because then I love that they have it. And so there is something about that. You always keep that sort of desire to care for your siblings. When I had the opportunity to live with my siblings after college, and I would love to buy groceries for them, and I would love to cook for them because it just felt so familiar, like caring for them. And so, but sometimes you almost forget that they're also adults that that probably also want to feel useful too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm always my youngest sister, she said her husband will say like you he's like your style is your sister's closet.
Yes.
And your style is whatever
definitely.
your sister
Yes,
gives you.
Yeah, totally. Which is, I think, yeah, I mean, I personally
We do
love
have
to
similar-
see it.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to see it. And when I see something that I handed down, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with kids' clothes too. When you see it,
Yeah.
when my niece at Easter wore a dress that Tess had worn, it was so sentimental.
No,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. We didn't have any of that. My siblings' children are a little bit I think the gap is a little bit too much.
You
And
had
then
already passed
also,
it on.
oh my gosh, my kids are so hard on
Oh,
clothes.
definitely. Yeah.
It's like nothing.
No, this was just a fancy
the jackets.
dress. Just a fancy.
Jackets, I
yeah.
think, survive. But other than that, okay, now we're getting off topic. Some of
Okay,
the
bye.
oldest children.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Under the Hood. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Please like, share, and subscribe.